वेलकम बैक, यू वाचिंग इनसाइड टुनाइट विद शुक्रियास। और स्टूडियो में मेरे साथ हैं बेंगलोर से आए हुए किरण कुमार जी, जो कि ग्लोबल कंसल्टेंट हैं। तो किरण जी, एज अ बिजनेस पर्सन, आपको दोनों पार्टीज, इफ वी टॉक अबाउट कांग्रेस एंड बीजेपी, डू यू सी समथिंग डिफरेंट दैट इज बीइंग ऑफर्ड बाय दीज पार्टीज?
Well, I feel once BJP comes to power or any government which comes to power, now it's high time that we need to change the transparency, which is very, very important. The FIPB, which is we call it as Foreign Investment Promotion Board, we want the foreign direct investments or whichever fashion you call it, please make it global. When if you have to give them some concession, the business community requires that. People all over the world wants to come into India. They want to invest in technology, and we have the entire technology today. And third thing which we also should look at is India should open up for education. We are only talking about, primary education, this education. We are talking about Indian Institute of Management of Ahmedabad or Bangalore or anywhere, Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. We need to have more like that. Why do you expect our own students, after finishing their graduation, come all the way abroad to US or UK or to Europe and go and do their masters? I feel that they should come and study. We must make sure that the faculty members can come from here, because globally, if you see, most of the best professors are Indians. The best of the best doctors, whoever I've seen, a couple of times I've met a couple of doctors in John Hopkins Hospital here in US. They are basically from India. Or Lady Flower Hospital in Germany, they are all from India. So what I'm trying to tell here is one of the world's renowned cardiologist, again, is from India. What I'm trying to tell here is, please make that some kind of a concession to a medical college owners today, or the engineering college owners today, or they must have their own universities.
Okay, let me just stop you here for a second. And do you see Congress and BJP have different agenda in this regard?
See, I am not saying they have a different agenda. What I feel is 9 years Congress was in power. They could have done this. It's always a request from most of the IT industries or most of the big business people that they wanted to do something more. They wanted some of the big, large businesses to come into India. The FIPB could have been more stronger. They could have made it. Little bit transparency is what everybody requires today. If transparency can be made it, and if, as what we say that, global investors meet, whatever we write, 4 lakh crores investments coming into our India. Where is it happening? It's not happening at the ground level at all. What is the end result? End result, if you see, out of it, 20% to 25% is what we have seen. What we are trying to request as a business consultant is that whoever businessman I have sent here, when I'm asking what do you expect for the new government, like how you asked me this question 2-3 days back, I've asked this question in Boston, I've asked this question in Atlanta last night with few of my friends. They said, very simple, please make the whichever government comes in to power to make sure that they give some concession where we come and invest in there.
So, Kiranji, it is ultimately the ability of the government to understand and appreciate what are the needs from the point of view of technology. And since you come from Bangalore, so as far as the understanding of the needs of the technocrats is concerned, if you go by the web presence, do you see some remarkable difference between BJP's approach and Congress at this point of time?
Well, as far as BJP is concerned, they've approached every software company CEOs who are originally from India, whether it is in US or in UK, even in Singapore for that matter. I don't know about the Congress, but as far as the BJP is concerned, yes, there is an IT cell where they already back office has been working. Most of and the kind of internet, even in India, Bangalore, when we go back, we get an SMSs every day. We get some messages on WhatsApp. The technology is so much. So why not use the technology? Know your candidate. Know your voter. These are the 2 mantras which they're putting it. I don't find that in Congress. And it's not that I'm trying to...
You talked about know your candidate, and that reminded me of Aam Aadmi Party, because they started off by announcing that these are the people who we want to defeat, and no corruption, no dynasty, etc., etc. Now, how do you see the presence of Aam Aadmi Party as far as Bangalore is concerned?
As far as Bangalore is concerned, I don't think so. We have heard about much of, except Mr. Arvind Kejriwal was in Bangalore sometime 3 weeks back, and he did one road show and went back. Other than that, I don't think so. Their presence much happening in Bangalore. I don't know in other places, but as far as Bangalore is concerned, I don't think so. We have any much impact on them.
So in our informal conversation, you were mentioning about the coincidence, probably, that most of the politicians in India right now, or there were a couple who have been bachelors. You talked about Chief Minister Mayawati, Jayalalitha, of course, Narendra Modi. So does that mean that people who get married, they should not see politics?
No. I was not trying to tell that. What I'm trying to make it a point here is they don't have any agenda. Absolutely, there's no agenda. Like if you see that, whenever there is a husband, the father is there in the chief minister of the state, the family gets corrupted. Whether they do it or if someone else do it on their behalf, the ultimate name goes to the family head, whoever it is. That's what I was trying to tell you. What I'm trying to mention here is that the bachelors doesn't have any other thing. They have only one goal, saying that we need to do to the country. And how far they're going to do it, again, that's the question mark. But if you see the success rate of a married and an unmarried, history always says the most successful have been the single people. Like I've simply take Atal Bihari Vajpayee today, because he's one person. He saw India what it is today. He saw India to those changes as a prime minister of the country. He made, especially the roads, which was this thing. Probably if he would have come back to power, maybe in 1 term or 2 terms, or maybe another 1 term, probably he would have done, his viewpoint was that he wanted to make all the rivers together. So that was his pet project. I still remember I had a couple of occasions to meet him in 2000 when there was a hijack on the Kandahar aircraft. One of my close friends was hijacked on that flight, the one and the only person from Bangalore. So I was closely connected with him. Then the Indian Minister for Foreign Affairs, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs was Vasundhara Scindia ji, who was very closely interacting with me for those 7 days in Delhi. So I have interacted with the then Prime Minister of the country. In that person, when you meet itself, he had so much of vision. He had so much of thinking, so much of what he wants to do about the country and things like that. What I'm trying to tell here is, I am not trying to tell that married people are not unsuccessful in politics. They also have been very, very successful. But when they don't allow the family person to get into day-to-day affairs of the governance, the good governance comes how.
Kiranji, we just have a minute or two, but I just thought it would be interesting for you to compare the present Prime Minister's vision. You talked about Atal Bihari Vajpayee's vision, and he also proved himself as a great finance minister.
Correct. What happens is the leader makes a lot of difference. If the leader is good, the entire team plays a better thing. My view is that the leader should have been given a free hand. The captain should be given a free hand. Then only he can perform. That is exactly what happens. If you make him the captain and if you don't allow him to perform, that is where the other people
So Rahul Gandhi's team, while analyzing the reason why people are not pro-Congress at this time, we have heard that they are considering this as one of the factors that Prime Minister has not been so vocal.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that, because he should have been vocal. At least in the second term, at least he should have been vocal, is what my personal view.
So Prime Minister didn't speak. Now people are going to speak, and what they are going to say would result into a new government. Who would be the next Prime Minister? If, in one word, you are to give a name to us, Kiranji, what that name would be?
I will go in for Narendra Modi.
So let us see whether the declaration of Kiran Kumar holds true. After 6 weeks, we will find out. And tomorrow we are going to have a spirited debate about Indian politics again. So do join us. I thank Kiranji coming all the way from Bangalore and being a part of Inside Tonight with the Showgrass, and thanking all of you for being with us. Do join us tomorrow. Namaskar.